I guess by the mid-60s I was good enough at playing the drums that I could be in a band with my peers, with teenage boys. And I really loved playing the drums. It was lots of fun, and I could take out my teen frustrations on them, just smashing and bashing away in my room. As far as why I started playing, well, I liked playing the drums, I liked listening to the radio and music and stuff, but I think mostly, just like all other musicians, I wanted to meet girls. It seemed like a good idea at the time. I started off playing the drums, and nobody else in the band would sing, and so I ended up being a singing drummer. And being a singing drummer is a tough one because you can't hear yourself sing because you're rattling those pots and pans. But yeah, so I started doing that. And later on, it got, well, the crowd has nobody to focus on when the drummer's hiding behind a kit. So later on, I started playing the guitar, being a singing guitar player. And I dabble in a few other instruments. I play the bass if I have to, and I can play the ukulele a little bit, enough to make somebody smile. And also, I could be a Wiener Roast guitar piano player if I could. If I could ever get a piano to the Wiener Roast, that'd be really good. I really don't remember the first tune I learned. I mean, I used to sing along with all the pop hits on the radio, like How Much Is That Doggy in the Window, whatever was on the radio at that time. I listened to R&B and that mostly, but probably the first song I learned on the guitar was Louie Louie, you know. It was three of the finest chords ever written for rock and roll. My family was very musical. My mom and dad both were singers, and my mom played the piano. She used to do piano recitals for like dance recitals, and so I would go across town with her on the bus, and we'd show up at some dance hall, and she'd be playing the piano while the kids were learning to dance. And I had an uncle Bill Courage, who was worked with CBC and a lot of major players. He was a great singer, and my brother, some cousins, my grandparents were singers, musicians, comedians, right back to vaudeville. And so we used to have, well, my grandfather used to say, I had a beautiful voice, I just spoiled it by singing. And but we had some pretty good house parties. We had house parties that legends are made from, with everybody had to sing a song and do a dance, tell a joke. It was a pretty good upbringing musically. I always listened to pop radio stations, whatever was on the top 40 at the time, and around the house, my mom and dad did all that stuff from the real book, you know, all the big band era music, and so that all kind of, it got into my brain through osmosis, you know. But I got really interested in R&B. I listened to like the Four Tops, the Temptations, Sam and Dave, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, all those kind of, I loved all that stuff, and I liked the way that they had horn sections, and I liked that they did steps, and you don't see too much of like quartet vocalists anymore. I loved that stuff at the time. Then, just like everybody else, I became a huge Beatles fan and listened to all that British Invasion stuff, and they really opened the doors. Like, you could hear so many different styles of music on each record. It wasn't like a theme for the most part. Some of the records were, but they just allowed you to play and sing any style of music. And I thought that was just, I was blown away. Yeah, another thing about musical influences is I played music in bars with bands that we played dance music and pop music, R&B, blues, British invasion stuff, anything that people wanted to hear. And so those kind of pop arrangements sort of stuck in my mind, and when I'm writing and arranging, it just automatically comes out like that, just because I did it for so long and so much of it. So that was an influence, just being on the road and working in a bar band. You learn an awful lot from that. There is a process that I use for songwriting. I just sort of tripped over it. I just ended up doing it somehow, and it works for me. Everybody's got their own way of doing it, but what I do is I walk around the house all day with a guitar around my neck, just playing anything. And every once in a while, I'll come up with a guitar lick or a riff or something that catches my ear. And what I'll do is I'll record it into my phone, and so I don't forget it. Because if I just go on to play something else, it just flies way out of my brain. And so I save it in the phone, and once I got a whole bunch of little things saved up, I go through my phone and I listen and I go, I can make a song out of that. And the same goes for lyrics. Sometimes when I'm trying to get to sleep at night, I'm laying in bed and you're almost in dreamland, and your brain's working overtime, and I'll think of some lyrics or something, and I'll just reach over, grab my phone, and spit out some lyrics into the phone, or even some changes, chord changes. Yeah, we used to do this break tune, and it was like, but the chord changes were like. Well, I can use those changes from that instrumental little thing, and just sort of rearrange the changes, stop and going in different on different chords, and write this song. And so I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking about the chord changes, and I came up with all the lyrics, just fell right out of my brain onto the page, and that's a song that's on my new record. It's called Mr. Satisfied. Another example of this thing is I was playing it on the guitar, and this is another song that's on the new record. We're trying to promote this new CD that I have called Driving. But I was playing, it was like, and the lick that I was playing into my phone was. And then I abbreviated it so it was. And it ended up being this. Won't you play my favorite song? So that's what you get. That's what you get for remembering a lick in your telephone. Another one that I got here is this song. I was playing away and I was pulling on the string like that, like just playing a guitar lick, and I ended up playing. Susie, give me what I want. Yes, you give me what I need. She's the one it's plain to see. It come to love and she for me. She give it everything she got. Man, that girl is smoking hot. And here's how it turned out. When we got in the studio, we dressed it all up with organ and horns. Susie, give me what I want. Yes, you give me what I need. an idea of how it works. Oh, I got one more. This is on the new record too. I wanted to write a song for my car buddies because I'm into old hot rod custom cars, and a whole lot of my friends are too. So I was trying to think of a real driving song that's just got, like, you know, 4 on the floor, and it's got that real locomotion to it. And I was playing a guitar like and it was like this. And I put some lyrics to it, and it ended up being like this. I've been driving, I haven't stopped all day, but it's alright, I'm liking it this way. Got these 4 wheels to carry me away. There you go, there's a song. That was just from playing a lick into my phone. Some songs are easier to write than others. There's on this CD there was a song, Mr. Satisfied. That song, it's got 10 chords in it and all the lyrics and everything, and it just fell out of my brain in about 10 minutes, and it was just like, yeah, a piece of cake. And another one was I'm just looking at this piece of paper here in front of me. Oh, You Get the Blues. The lyrics to You Get the Blues just came naturally. I don't even have to really rewrite anything. It was a first draft, and there it was. It just worked. But then there's other songs, like there's a song on the record called Storm Come. There's a storm come, and there's a storm coming, watch your back. Now that song, it was a fight to the finish. I started writing that song when all those hurricanes were happening down south. There's like 3 hurricanes in a row, and everybody's getting devastated. Yeah, so I thought I was writing about these 3 storms, hurricanes, and I played the song for my friend and producer Bill Buckingham, and he thought that it was a metaphor for a relationship or something. And it never even dawned on me that it might be that, because I was writing about some storms. Anyway, I rewrote it, and it ends up, it can be about a storm or a metaphor or whatever. Yeah, it was a tough one. I had to fight that one to the finish. I didn't really have a theme in mind. No, I wanted to write a song for my car buddies, a real driving song. And so I did that. The rest of it, basically I just wanted it to be kind of, danceable, and I really like 4 on the floor, like, just that real driving kind of gives that locomotion to a song, makes it really danceable, and so I wanted to, make sure that that was happening. I think the album is for the most part pretty danceable. I think women might like this record more than guys. Guys just dance because they have to if they want to meet women. So also, I just love the R&B, like the horn. I like the horn section happening, and I like that sound of that B3 organ underlying, and I like the really thin Telecaster, that real driving kind of, those kind of sounds that you in the background for the rhythmic things. So I think we accomplished that. We got it going, and I got to give props to the guys in the band. Daryl Havers on the organ, he's a monster. I love his playing. He's really good. And Steve Hilliam on tenor and baritone saxophone. Man, he's the top of the heap. Derry Byrne on trumpet. And my good old friend, I love this guy, Bill Buckingham. He played drums and bass on most of it. I played drums and bass on Smokin' Hot and Take My Love. Those two songs actually, I sort of recycled those songs. I had them on an earlier EP that I put out, but the EP never really went anywhere, and I thought those songs were really keepers, and so we put them back on. We redid them and put them back on this record with horns and organ on it. But Bill Buckingham, we did the record at his studio. It's called the Palace Studios, and Bill is a great producer, great engineer, and he can play every instrument really well. And of course, on all the tracks, I wrote all the songs. I played guitar on everything and sang it. I even sang the backup harmonies as well. My future music, well, I don't really have a crystal ball or anything like that, but I think I'm just going to keep writing and recording. I just love doing it. It's kind of who I am, and I get just huge satisfaction of it. My music isn't out there I'm not trying to change the world or anything like that, but if somebody taps their foot to it, my work here is done.